Hello everyone, today let's talk about drug abuse among teenagers, a social issue that becoming increasingly relevant worldwide. My source is BBC News, which reporting growing concerns about the increase in drug use among young people. According to the experts, this trend is not random. It's connected to the mental health problems, social pressure, family issues, and easy access to substance. This topic matters because teenage years are the critical stage of development. Decisions made during this period can influence a person's health, education, and future opportunities.
And what is the problem? The drug abuse is the repeated or harmful use of substance that can affect the brain and the body. But who is affected? Teenagers and young adults are especially vulnerable because their brains are still developing. During adolescence, the brain areas responsible for decision making and impulse control are not fully measured. Because of this, teenagers may not always be able to evaluate risk correctly. They often prefer pleasure or social acceptance over long-term consequences. In addition, many young people struggle with anxiety, stress, loneliness, or depression. Some start using drugs not only out of curiosity, but as a coping mechanism to escape emotional pain. But what is happening? Drug use among teenagers is increasing in some places because several factors work together. For instance, peer pressure. Many teenagers want to feel accepted if their social group normalizes substance use. Saying no becomes harder. Mental health struggles. Teenagers experiencing stress or emotional difficulties may believe substance help them relax or forget their problems temporarily. One of the most important, accessibility. In some communities, drugs are easier to obtain than before. And the last one could be digital influence. Social media can glamorize risk behavior through trends, influence, and even personalized ads. Young people are constantly exposed to content that shapes their behavior and perceptions. At first, experimentation may seem harmless. Things can look safe and sound, but addiction often develops gradually, little by little. Many teenagers think they are in control, but some eventually lose that control. Where does it happen? This is a global social issue, but it's often more visual in urban environments where population density, inequality, and drug accessibility are higher. For example, in some cases, the issue is linked to family instability or violence. In other cases, it is related to academic pressure or emotional neglect. And it's very important because this shows the problem is not simply black and white.
I consider BBC a reliable source because it usually includes the expert opinions, evidence, and multiple perspectives. The articles effectively explain the increase in drug abuse and the highlights the risks involved. However, it seems focused more describing the problem than deeply exploring solutions. For example, it's called discuss prevention program in the school, family communication strategies, appropriate mental health support, and rehabilitation service, which discussing solution audience may understand they use it but not know how society can respond.
The article predicts that drug abuse among teenagers will probably continue to rise if prevention strategies remain weak. I agree with this prediction for several reasons. First, mental health problems among young people are increasing. If these problems are not addressed, some teenagers may continue using substance as an emotional escape. Second, technology makes influence faster. Harmful behaviors can spread rapidly online through trends and communities that normalize risk decisions. Because of this, drug prevention programs are likely to become more common in schools. Governments might invest more in mental health services, and families could become more aware of early warning signs. However, we are skeptical that the problem will disappear completely. Addiction is complex because it involves biological, emotional, and social factors. Society cannot solve overnight. Still, teenagers can make healthier decisions when they have information, emotional support, and safe environments. As the saying goes, better safe than sorry.
In conclusion, though, abuse among teenagers is not only a health issue, but also a social issue connected to the mental health, education, family relations, and inequality. If society communicate ignoring the cause of the addiction, the consequence will probably become ever more serious in the future. However, this problem can be reduced if schools, families, and governments work back and forth together to create safer environment and provide emotional support for your people. We should stop normalizing substance abuse and start investing in the prevention, education, and mental health resources. Every teenager deserves the opportunities to grow up in a safe environment and make informed decisions about their future. The time to act is now, before this issue gets ever more out of hand. Thank you for listening.